Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Stephanie from Lumeria Star. So today I thought it'd be really fun to take a look at all of my Halloween and spooky decks because this is my absolute favorite time of the year. I look forward to it literally all year to be able to break out these seasonal decks and give them more love because I do like to work with decks seasonally. I could use these all year, but I choose to use them for October primarily into November. So yeah, I just wanted to show off these decks and what my favorite ones are. And what's nice is now that I have this YouTube channel instead of IGTV, the videos can go longer than 15 minutes. So I can kind of like sink into the decks more and talk a little bit more about the artwork and why I love it. So let's just get started. I've got my little fall setup here. I've got some pumpkins. This is actually a really cool skull. So I just came back from Mexico and one of the little things I picked up in the marketplace was this skull that is actually carved from a fish bone. It's actually a barracuda bone. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I've got my spice pumpkin candle going. So it is very aesthetic right now, and I've got something to drink, so this might be a longer video. So if you guys want to go get like a cup of hot tea or coffee or wine, whatever your fancy is, let's just talk about spooky decks today. Okay, so my first favorite decks are obviously the Halloween Tarot. I have it in the tin and the full size as well, so I'll just take a look at the tin. But I love these backs. There's something about this deck that just really, it's so nostalgic of like how I felt about Halloween as a kid. All of the magic, just like, I don't know, like the tower is a haunted house. Like it doesn't get any better than that. So this deck is really great for beginners. It's very, very close to Rider-Waite-Smith. So if you're just learning and you're interested in a Halloween deck, I highly suggest the Halloween Tarot. The only difference is they've renamed the suits and it's in the little guidebook, but other than that, ghosts are cups. So this would be 10 of cups. Bats are swords. Imps, which are these little guys, are the wands. And then pumpkins are pentacles. So other than that, it's just a really lovely deck. And it just makes me really happy to break it out every year. I feel like, you know, this time of year, everyone's really into shadow work and things like that. And I am too. But I think this deck, because of the illustrative style, it would be really great for even like inner child work because it just kind of brings me back to that sense of like playfulness, like the fun and the joy of, you know, getting dressed up for Halloween and going trick-or-treating. So I just really, really adore this deck, and that's why I have it in the tin, because I like to keep this one like in my purse or my car. I don't like to be without it, especially during spooky season. So I always have that with me. And then I also have the full size. So this is just a regular standard tarot size. So I have both. You don't need both. I like having both. They're pretty affordable on Amazon, or you could probably get this like Barnes and Nobles or maybe some like local bookshops. So must have for any spooky collection, in my opinion. Okay, next, this doesn't need to be for Halloween season, but I do love to break it out during October. This is the Marigold Tarot. This is by Amrit Brar. And it says here, it's a tarot deck rooted in life, death, and gold. So I think that is amazing. It's such an aesthetic. So the one thing about this deck, because I actually struggled when I first got it, is they are kind of pip-like. These are the beautiful backs. This is a linen finish. We've got this beautiful gold gilding. Mine has kind of chipped and worn over time. So the thing about this deck is it's all like skulls and flowers, marigold. So like skulls and flowers are one of my favorite aesthetics. Obviously I love like antique anatomy. The thing with this deck in particular is Amrit Brar infused a lot of her culture into it. So I believe there's a lot of Punjabi inspired references in this deck with the skeletons and their clothing. So I think that's really cool as well. And again, like I mentioned, it is kind of pippish. So like the 9 of Cups is just 9 skulls. So unless you don't really know the tarot, this might be a little bit more difficult for beginners. Really love this moon card. Let me see. I actually really love like the celestial card. So it's like the moon and the sun and the star. Beautiful. And you can see here, they're a little bit more pippish, which can be hard. So when I first got this, I was still a little bit newer to tarot. So I could read with it, but I was having trouble really connecting to it as much as I wanted to. But it is an absolutely stunning deck. There's the World, Devil. And you can see like with the clothing styles, there's a lot of like Indian influence or Punjabi influence. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so I apologize. But I do know that was the creator's intent. So yeah, it's just a really beautiful deck. So if you like this like black and gold and skull aesthetic, like highly suggest. This is a beautiful Queen of Cups card. So when I got this, there was no guidebook. I do believe now it does come with a separate guidebook that you could order separately, which I haven't done. Maybe I will do that actually, because I'd love to know like what her references were for this deck. So that is the Marigold Tarot by Amrit Brar. Okay, so my next deck is actually a majors only deck, but it is one of my favorites for this time of year. This is the Orphans of Dudley Town, and this is by, oh my gosh, what's his name? Josiel Lorenzo. So this says here, the Orphans Major Arcana is a 22 card deck based on the Orphans of Dudley Town. So this is like a fictional kind of town with characters that he created. The orphans are ghostly kids from the Victorian era who love all things spooky and Halloween. Same. All the cards were inspired by the classic Rider-Waite. So even though it's a majors only deck, I am just so obsessed with this deck. And Josiel, if you're watching this, I know I've said this many times in other videos, if you make a fully illustrated 78 card deck, I will be the first one to back it on Kickstarter, and I will rep the hell out of that deck. Like I will make everyone back it because I'm so obsessed. So these are the illustrations. I just love them. It's got that Victorian vibe. I mean, like creepy orphan vibe. The color palette and aesthetic is amazing. It's just so like delightfully Halloween, which is why I love it so much. So that's why I really hope that one day he does create a full 78 card deck, not like pip minors, but like fully illustrated minors. That would be my like ultimate wish from you, Josiel. So it's just beautiful. Like look how cute. Oh my God. So cute. So Halloween-y. Again, this also kind of gives me like inner child vibes too. So yeah, that's the Orphans of Dudley Town deck, and it does come with just like a little fold out of the card meanings. So with major only decks, because people have asked me this, they're like, why would you, well, what do you do with a majors only deck? And I don't seek them out, but if I like the artwork enough, I'll just go ahead and get it anyway. But I like to mix them with other decks. And then like if I have, a majors only deck, I might use it as like a anchor point and use another deck with, the full 78 cards to kind of like give clarity. So that's kind of, how I use the deck. But anyway, okay, so the next deck I have here is the Flux Arcana Tarot. This is by Micah Ulrich. This is a beautiful black, white, and red deck, all with skeletons. So as you can see, a theme here, I love skeletons and skulls. A really beautiful seal here that I kept, so I open it from the bottom. These are the beautiful backs, which are reversible. I've been meaning to gilt or edge this, and I don't know if I want to do it in black or blood red. I don't know. Leave a comment and let me know what you think, which black or blood red. So anyway, these are the cards. They are, you can see they have like these really like ornate borders. I don't know how to describe this artwork. It almost feels medieval to me. I don't know if that's a correct term, but they feel like medieval. They feel like religious in a sense. Like I was raised Catholic. I'm not Catholic anymore, but like they give me like this like medieval, like religious undertones, and there's a darkness to that, at least for me in my life. So like it kind of taps into that for me, which makes it like an extra creepy deck. So I just love the artwork and the art style of Micah Ulrich. I think it's so unique. And this is another fun deck to pair with other decks because it's got a lot of the white space. Here's the Devil card. I really like that one. Yeah, it just feels like medieval or something. I don't know if that, I really don't know if that's the right term, but that's just like the vibe it gives me. Just like really old style art that kind of has like those religious connotations to it. And again, with all these like skulls, it's very like demonic in a sense. So I love that. I love anything dark. Look at the Lover's card. That's cute. So this is a favorite of mine. Really, really love this. Just trying to decide if I'm gonna edge it in a black or a red. So leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I'm kind of leaning towards red. My only concern is it might bleed on the front, but I mean, I'm not like a perfectionist with my decks. I don't keep them pristine. I like them to be used and really worked. So I guess if it bleeds through, it's not the worst thing in the world. If I can get these in the deck or in the box, that would be great. Okay, so that is the Flux Arcana Tarot. All right, so next I have two of the same deck, but they're different, and you'll see what I mean by that. This is the Dead Waite Tarot. So this is by Tarot Collectibles, and they're the company and the artists who do all of those like Rider-Waite clone, Rider-Waite Smith clone decks, like the what are the really popular ones? The Trip and Wait, the Groovy Wait. They're not my vibe, but I really like these zombie ones, and then I also really like their Christmas ones. They're my favorite to like, you know, break out with the Christmas decorations in December. So I ended up getting these two decks a couple years ago, and the reason I got two is because, and I've been meaning to do just a walkthrough of just this deck. You can see the backs for this one. So again, these are Rider-Waite clones. But the difference here, and this one is in order because I really haven't used it, and this one is not in order because I use this, and I have edged this one in a blood red. It's normally like a white plain edge. But anyway, so pretend these are in order, but basically the, what is this one called? This one is called the Apocalyptic Survivor Edition of this deck. So basically the difference is this one is just the regular design of the Rider-Waite Smith, but making it zombies and like apocalypse. And then this one is the same artwork, but they have added like bloody fingerprints and burn marks as if this were found and like scavenged from the you know, apocalyptic wasteland. So I thought that was really fun. I do like zombie stuff. So and people have asked too, they're like, is it really? Like, no, it's not even on the outside. Like, that is literally part of the design, because people are like, oh my gosh, did they actually destroy it? No, it's not destroyed. So you can see the difference here. So this is like clean, like a regular clean card, and then this is designed to look distressed. So let me see if I can find just so you can see the difference. Let's see if I can find the High Priestess card, so you know what I mean. Oh, actually, here's the Magician card, so let's do that. Okay. You see the differences? So it's literally the same artwork. So this is the original, and then this one is designed to look distressed and like it's really been through an apocalypse. So I just think this is really fun. I'm sure it's not everyone's cup of tea. Apparently it is for me. So let me know if you want me to do a full side-by-side walkthrough of both these decks. It's been on my to-do list. I just haven't done it yet. But this one is it's fun. Like, look, so 10 of Cups is one of my favorite minor cards, and like, look, it's a zombie family, and like the kids are like eating like limbs. Like, that's just like funny to me. I don't know. I love this deck. It's not for everybody, but it is for me. So also, if you book a reading with me this month, these are decks that you can choose that I read with if that's your vibe. So this is the Deadweight and the Deadweight Apocalyptic Survivor Edition. These are both by Tarot Collectibles. Okay, so the next deck I have, oh, you know what? Let's just go with the theme. The next themed zombie deck is the Zombie Tarot. So this is mass market, and for mass market, this is like amazing quality. I've been meaning to get a nice bag for it. So this was gifted to me by a friend. Here are the backs. This is, like I said, mass market. I did edge it again in that blood red, which I think really makes it pop. And this deck is really fun because it's got this like 1950s and 1960s, like Mad Men era, housewife era aesthetic. So yeah, it's like it takes place in the 50s or 60s with a zombie apocalypse. So it's just really cheeky and fun. It has a good sense of humor. Again, this artwork is not for everybody, but I don't know. I love this time of year, just playing around with just like darker themes and darker images. I just think this deck is just so great. Like, look at that, the devil. This, like, so I'm a big Mad Men fan. Like, I've watched that show in its entirety multiple times, and a large theme in Mad Men is like advertising, and like that was really the age of like cigarette smoking. So I just think it's so clever that the devil is actually like not any of these like zombies in the apocalypse. It's actually like, you know, like the advertising world, and like pushing these dangerous cigarettes on people, like despite like, what is it, the Surgeon General warnings. I just think it's like super clever. I think I also had a past life back then because I'm very drawn to this time period. So yeah, this is a very cool deck, really affordable, and you can get it probably on Amazon for super cheap. I really need a bag for this, and the guidebook is cute too. So this is made to look like a box of ammunition, which again, really clever. And the guidebook is made to look like aged and distressed. This also has a really good and like cheeky sense of humor. And I also like in the back too, it's made to look like old like ads, like old newspaper ads. I don't know, it's so clever. So really love the Zombie Tarot. So let me make some room here because I have decks piling up. Hold on. Move all these over. Okay, so my next deck that I have in this little skeleton print bag is my Memento Mori deck. So Memento Mori, this is by Claire Goodchild. This is a Lenormand and Oracle deck, which I thought was like a really unique idea. So I ended up getting the original Memento Mori, and then she had like 2 expansion packs. I didn't get the one, I got the general expansion pack, so I just included it in there. And then I took out cards that just didn't resonate with me. So I actually took out all the like Lenormand like cards because I really just don't, I've like learned I don't really read Lenormand. Like when I do, I read it like an oracle. So I don't know, maybe I will get into Lenormand later in life, but I've taken out like the man, the woman card, things like that. So they just don't resonate with me and how I read right now. So I've taken them out. And I kind of created like a mega deck. You can see how thick and chunky this is. And if you know Claire Goodchild's artwork and aesthetic, you'll know it's a lot of like macabre. It can be morbid, a lot of florals and botanicals and skulls and bones. So it's just like, it's such a vibe. Ghost. Like some of these are just so good. And there's no, I mean, there is a little, not guide, I guess it's a guidebook. It's almost like a little white book. But it's so great for intuitive hits. Like, look at that, amputation saw. Like that's dark. Syringe, knife. There's some other of the dark ones. Casket. Like they're just spot on. Poison when I read with these. And because it's just a simple keyword and like beautiful artwork, I don't know, it lets me really sink into my intuition. So I just really love that. Embalming fluid, like again, just it's dark. So again, this is not everyone's cup of tea, but if you are a fan, look, Plague Doctor. I feel like it's so on point for like the days of COVID. I feel like we've been in the plague for almost 2 years. So yeah, I just feel like this deck just leaves so much room for your intuition to expand. So this is a favorite. I like to use it. Look at the witch card, like how cute. I like to use this for the month of October, and I will take this into November as well. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Executioner. I pulled this the other day when I was asking about anxiety, and I was like, okay, I got it, got the message. So this is a favorite of mine. I just love everything that Claire Goodchild does. So let's put this back in the bag. And I'm not including Antique Anatomy in this video because that's just like one of my favorite decks, and I do use that year round. Like that's like a year round deck for me. So that's the only reason I'm not including that and the what's the Oracle deck? Why can't I think? Is it Oracle of Oddities? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so the next deck came in a tin, and I ended up getting rid of the tin because it was too big. So it's in this like flimsy little bag. It really needs a nice bag. This is the Madame Lydia Wilhelmina's Tarot of Monsters, the Macabre, and Autumn Scenes. When I heard that name, I was just like, okay, yeah, I kind of need that. So these are the backs. This is an indie deck. I'm not sure if this is still available, so if it's not, I apologize. If it is, I can link it below. It's not edged or anything. I probably should just edge that in like a black or maybe like an antique gold. That could be cute. So anyway, this is kind of like creepy, macabre, but it's not like in your face scary. At least I don't think. So like the 10 of Cups, like this gives me just very like Addams Family vibes. Like it's a happy family, but it's like a dark family. The Magician, you can just see it's just like more autumn, more dark. It's just slightly macabre. Beautiful moon card. There's some pumpkins in there. Look, the Fool. And the one thing I wish is that the creator would have like included in the guidebook like where this artwork came from, because this is obviously some type of classic art. So I don't know like who the original artist who created this, but it's just a really fun deck. So I like to pull this out in the darker months of the year. Little skulls in there. Yeah, this is a fun one. It's not too in your face, but it's just enough darkness to be like, yep, like look, there's death. I like that 9 of coins too. She is like loving her life. 10 of coins. The Knight of coins, it's very like Ichabod Crane, Headless Horseman. The Empress is really beautiful. The Queen of Wands is really beautiful. There's also the Deary Squirrel card, which I guess is supposed to be a version of the Happy Squirrel. I don't know why I left it in there because I usually don't read with that. I may take that out. But yeah, this is just a fun deck, which is full of monsters, the macabre, and autumn scenes, because that is what this deck is called. So I think for the short version, people just call it the Lydia Tarot. So this is another fun one that I really enjoy mixing with other decks. Okay, so the next 2 decks I have are in this adorable pouch. Like, can we just take a second and enjoy this like creepy kawaii like deliciousness? Like, for all of you horror fans, oops, I just broke my little drawstring here. For all of you horror fans out there, like, these are some of my favorite movies. We've got The Shining, we've got Halloween, and Carrie, and The Exorcist, and Jason. So I have fit 2 decks in here. And the reason I put 2 decks in here is because I use these together. And I use these together because, number one, this is a majors only. So I said I really like to pair majors only deck with full decks. And also because their aesthetic is very similar. They're both creepy and cute. So number one, this is called the Creepy Tarot. And this is the Skelly Tarot. So let's take a look at these. So the Creepy Tarot, like I said, is a majors only deck. So it's only got the major arcana. I did edge this in a blood red. It was just plain before. These are the cute backs. And then the Skelly Tarot is a full 78 card deck. And I believe this is by Stephanie Mayton. I think she said that she literally drew this deck in 78 days. So she drew 1 card a day, which I think is really cool. It's edged in like this like kind of matte shimmery kind of silver. So you can see that like the aesthetic is not the same, but I think the vibe is similar. They're both creepy and cute. So what I actually really like to do with this deck, these decks in particular, is I'll like split this deck in half, and I'll use the Creepy Tarot as my like anchor or focal point, and then I like to use the Skelly Tarot as like further clarity. So I just really like how these pair together, and it's creepy and it's cute. I mean, what more do you want for Halloween? Creepy and cute vibes. Like if I do kid readings, I would definitely use the Skelly Tarot as well, which I probably will. I have an event coming up later in the month. It's like a fall bazaar, and you know, obviously it's like a kid-friendly event too. There's face painting and trick-or-treating and stuff. So I'm offering kids readings. So I might bring this one along with the Halloween one I showed, because you know, they're creepy, but they're not scary. So I think that would be really sweet to use. So that's why I have these 2 decks together. I think they play very nicely together. And I do believe now that the Creepy Tarot, this one, is now a full size deck. It's now a full 78 card deck. The reason I personally didn't get it is because it's a pip deck. So the minors are not fully illustrated, and I've just learned that that's just not my vibe. Like, it's hard for me to read. Like, I like to really sink into more like scenic landscapes and artwork. So I'm not getting that. I'm just perfectly happy and fine with the majors only deck. And then I believe the Skelly Tarot, unfortunately, I think is discontinued or just not in print right now. So hopefully she does another print run, because I know people have asked me about this deck and asked if I was selling it, which I'm not, unfortunately, because I do really love this deck, but yeah, hopefully this does come back into print. So that is the Skelly Tarot by Stephanie Mayton, and the Creepy Tarot by, I want to say her name's Stephanie too. Yep, Stephanie Black. Look at all these Stephanies in the tarot community. I love that. All right, so let's move that deck out of the way. Sorry, I just kind of dropped that there. Okay, so these next two decks are Oracle decks, and to be quite honest, I don't really use these. So I think after this season, I might decide if I'm gonna maybe pass these along and rehome them. So these are both from Patrick Valenza of Deviant Moon. So this is Mildred Payne's Oracle of Black Enchantment. The artwork is so cool. I don't know why I don't use it. It might be a size thing. I don't love larger cards because my hands are smaller. These are some of the extra cards, which are cool. They are cool. They remind me of like American Horror Story, which I'm rewatching right now. So these are all, oh, here's another extra card, the title card. So these are all like the woodcut kind of artwork that reminds me of like the Salem witch trials. And they are numbered at the top, and I believe there's a PDF. I think I have it saved on my phone. So there are meanings to these cards, but I don't know why I don't reach for this. Because these are just so beautiful. And I don't know if I don't know how to incorporate it with tarot, because tarot's more of my thing as opposed to Oracle. I don't know, like, am I gonna regret getting rid of this? I don't know. Maybe I should use this as journal prompts for like shadow work. I haven't really thought of that. Maybe I'll do that. I gotta leave this one out and see if I can maybe connect with it. Because it's just beautiful. I do wish they were a little smaller, but I can't be picky. But they're creepy in like the best kind of way, because I love creepy. So yeah, this is Mildred Payne's Oracle of Black Enchantment. I will figure out if this is staying or going. I really should just be using this in daily pulls as well. Maybe bond with it more. Ugh, these tuck boxes drive me nuts. Okay, let's put that one away. Okay, so also by Deviant Moon is the Carte de Visite. These are called, so these aren't really considered oracle cards. They are considered disturbing cabinet cards. And these are just cool. Again, I don't really know how to use them. I kind of throw them in with tarot spreads, and it just kind of adds like a cool element. But basically these look, okay, so this is what it says here. Discovered by chance, and again, this is all fictional, obviously. Patrick Valenza kind of created this like fantasy world. But it says here, discovered by chance in the asylum attic, we are happy to bring you this collection of disturbing photographs. So the Fernwood Asylum is basically Patrick Valenza's like fantasy world where these tarot decks were kind of found. That's, I believe, Mildred Payne. I think she was in the asylum. That's like, you know, the story that he's created. So these are all supposed to be found photographs, and they're just really cool and really creepy. And they have little messages on the back. Cousin Chella immigrated to America after crawling 143 days under the Atlantic. Like, that's weird. These are so weird and creepy. Like, look at that. That's frightening. These remind me of, see, death is an easy sleep. So these remind me of photographs, like, because I love antiquing and like flea market shopping, and I always end up looking in like the vintage photographs and like postcard section. So these remind me of old photographs you would find in like those bins. And then I'm always like, you know, where is this person? Like, they're probably dead, but like, what's their backstory? I'm weird like that. I love the psychology with all of that. So again, this deck is awesome. I haven't found a way that really feels like I'm using it to its best ability. Like, look at that. Daddy assured me that monsters weren't real, but I was never convinced. Like, it's just so creepy. I need to throw these in tarot spreads just to add a cool element. Death waits patiently in the in the corner of life. Like, imagine seeing that in the corner of your room, like at night. I would die. So yeah, these are awesome. I'm not using them right. The landlord has come to collect his rent. I feel like that's my landlord because I can't stand them. Anyway, I digress. So this is the carte de visite. Disturbing cabinet cards. I will probably keep these because the size is manageable, and I can definitely throw these into a tarot spread with clients, anyone who's kind of open to that creepy vibe. So I do like these a lot. I need to really start using them more. Okay, so my next two decks are the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle. Now, this is the popular mass market that everyone has. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I will show, actually, do I want to walk through all these? This is the indie version. So I picked this up long before this was out. And the reason I knew about it was because I actually know Juliet Diaz. I've met her in person. She owned a witchy shop in Jersey City where I used to live. So I met her in person. She's so lovely. And I knew she was coming out with a oracle deck with Lorraine Anderson, who's the owner of Spirit Element, which is a really beautiful like apothecary type shop. And the illustrator, the artist is Giada Rose. Yeah, Giada Rose. So I picked this up right away back in the day, not knowing it was going to go mass market. And I'm really glad I did, because this is the main difference. And I'm not going to go through all of these cards. I think I'm actually going to do a separate walkthrough of them. Like a separate video is what I'm saying. So basically this is the difference. So this is a standard tarot size, the original indie version, and then the one that was picked up by Rockpool is an oracle size. You can see the difference in the card backs. I mean, these are absolutely stunning. I love that. And then these are red gilded edges, which just give it like a really beautiful, like elevated look. Oops. These are not, these are just plain. And my only complaint is that the mass market edition did not include all the amazing cards in the indie version. And I think, does it say how many? I don't know if it says how many, but they took out a whole bunch of cards. This one is 60 cards, the indie. And let's see how many cards is in the mass market. Does it say off the bat? 44. So they took out, that's what, 16 cards, and I think that's a shame because there are so many amazing cards in this deck. So I think I'm going to do a separate, I think I'm going to do a separate walkthrough just of these, so you all can see the difference in the cards that are missing, and maybe you can track down an indie version. But it's such a lovely deck. It's wonderful for shadow work. It pairs beautifully with tarot. And right now I'm working through this edition, the mass market one for daily journals. And I'm just trying to work my way through the deck. And that's been really, really lovely. So if I can get that in there. So yeah, I will do a separate video of these two decks so you can see the differences between the indie and the mass market. So we'll move those to the side. And then, is this my last? No, I have a couple more. Okay, how long is this video? 40 minutes, okay. Sorry, this is long. The next Oracle deck I have is the Halloween Oracle. This is by Stacey DeMarco. This is another lovely deck. It's just fun. It's a little on the thinner side. I do wish there was more cards, but that's like a minor detail. It's 36 cards. So this deck actually came to me in a subscription box. Which one was it? Nine of Earth, which is a subscription box I found. I do pay for. And it's just a really cool way to explore decks that maybe you wouldn't normally buy. And then the ones that I'm not connecting with, I'm just passing on. So these are the backs, really cute. And the artwork isn't my favorite, but it's aesthetic. It's Halloween aesthetic, so I can't not like it. I found that this paired with the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle, at least for me, those cards are really communicating beautifully together. So I've been pulling one card from the Halloween Oracle, one from the Samhain Oracle, and my morning messages are on point, amazing. Both have really great guidebooks. And again, this artwork isn't really my aesthetic, but because it's a Halloween deck, like, it's fun. The messages are actually really great. And yeah, I'm really glad this was in the Nine of Earth box. Look at that, trick or treat. Like, I'm gonna put that one on top because it's so fun. It's just a great deck. And I'm really, really glad it made its way to me, because I'm gonna be honest, because I don't love the art style, I wouldn't have bought this. But because it made its way to me, I feel like it was meant to be. So that is the Halloween Oracle. Let me see, I have a couple more. All right, I have here, this is newer to my collection. This is the second edition Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle. This is by Grounded by the Moon. The production quality of this is absolutely beautiful. It's one of those magnetic closure boxes. I feel like everyone should be making boxes like this. They're my favorite kind. So this deck is really cool. This one is the full moon edition, so it's gold gilded. You can see here. I also have the new moon edition, which is like black holographic gilded, and I wanted to see which one I liked better. So that one, I chose this one, so I'm gonna pass that one along. But anyway, it's also cool because it comes with cards for spreads, and it actually comes with like a lot of spreads you can play with, which is self-care, inner witch check-in. There's a spread for each element, new moon and full moon. I really need to remember to use these, like the new moon was just the other day. So this one I feel like also pairs really nicely with some of my like creepy, spooky Halloween or Samhain themed decks. This is a really nice oracle to play with. This is all based off of the movie Practical Magic, which is one of my favorites. But you don't need to know the movie to use this, which is cool. Like, this is a nod to the movie and the book. But again, you don't, like, if you've never seen it, it's not gonna prevent you from enjoying this deck. But this one is just really lovely. The production quality is nice. The cards feel good in my hands. And then it comes with a nice little chunk of a guidebook. And yeah, it gives you lovely messages, kind of like a intention at the bottom. So I've really enjoyed using this deck as well. So I usually keep the spreads on the bottom. Put the cards back in. And yeah, that is the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle. And then let's see. I have, oh, maybe that's it. I think that's it. So that is my spooky, scary, creepy Halloween themed decks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think. If there's anything that you want to see a closer look of, just let me know in the comments below, and I'd love for you to hit the like button, leave a comment, please subscribe, because I'm kind of new to the tarot YouTube world, even though I've been watching YouTube videos forever, but I decided to expand my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please follow me at LumeriaStar. And yeah, I look forward to connecting with you guys and talking about all things tarot and witchy. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.